أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In this session I shall explain to you the concept of Atful Bayan. Atful Bayan. Now the word Atf in with the meaning of conjunction, Waw, Harf Atf, Waw and Fa. Probably you came to know this expression in the very early days of your learning Arabic. Harf Atf. But Atful Bayan we have not taught you. There are two types of Atf. One is Al-Atfu An-Nasaq. Atfu An-Nasaqi, and the other is Atful Bayani. So what you have learned is actually Atful Nasaq. Though we probably, you may not have been told that it is called Atful Nasaq, that is a complete name. But the word Atf, you always used it in the sense of Atful Nasaq, which is the conjunction of Waw and Fa. For example, جاء بلال ومحمد. اشتريت كتابا ودفترا. I bought a book and a notebook. دفترا كتابا ودفترا. عطف معطوف عليه. That is actually what is known as عطف النسق. Nasaq means arrangement. So عطف النسق means the particles which arrange the words one after the other, like kitabun wa qalamun. The second is atful bayan. Atf, a word which is used with another word, bayan for explanation. Atful bayan is for explanation. Now, atful bayan looks like al-badal. You have learned badal. For example, Aina akhuka Hashimun. Aina akhuka Hashimun. Where is your brother Hashim? So Hashim is badal and akhuka is mubdal minhu. That you have learned. Many examples of this. So the atful bayan is similar to the concept of badal. Now there are 2 points in which these two differ. Atful bayan is different from al-badal. Two points. Now number 1 is that atful bayan is different from badal on 2 points. A and B. Number 1, in atful bayan, that is the second element. Atful bayan should be clearer and better known from the primary element, the first element. It should be clearer and better known than the first element. For example, I will give you an example from our day-to-day life. For example, if somebody says qabaltu قابلت إليزابيث مفعول به. Then if you say قابلت إليزابيث, you may not get the correct idea of whom he met, because there are thousands of women with this name Elizabeth. So whom did he meet? But if you say قابلت إليزابيث ملكة بريطانيا, قابلت إليزابيث ملكة بريطانيا. Now this ملكة is عطف البيان because it is better known than the word Elizabeth. Now everybody knows whom he met. There can be no doubt about whom he met. So قابلت إليزابيث ملكة بريطانيا. This is عطف البيان it is better known than Elizabeth. So that is one of the points of difference, is that in Badal it may not be better known, it may not be clearer, but in Atful Bayan it must be better known or clearer. I'll give an example of being clearer. First of all, I'll give you an example, a classical example mentioned by all grammarians is أقسم بالله أبو حفص عمر. أقسم بالله أبو حفص عمر. أقسم بالله أبو حفص. Abu Hafs took an oath in Allah. أقسم بالله. أقسم فعل بالله. Abu Hafs, Abu is fa'il, Hafs is mudaf ilayh, and then Umar is Atful Bayan. Abu Hafs is the kunya of Umar radiallahu anhu. Is the kunya of Umar radiallahu anhu. So Abu Hafs and Umar, when we say Umar, it becomes clear. Otherwise, many people may not know who is meant by Abu Hafs. It's not a very well-known kunya of Umar. So, Aqsama billahi Abu Hafsin Umar. Umar is Atful Bayan because it is clearer, it is better known than Abu Hafs. That is a classical example. All grammar books mention this example. Aqsama billahi Abu Hafsin Umar. Now the other example of being clear, I'll give you an example. This is Alif and this is Ba. هل عندك متنقل متنقل. Now in some countries, especially in Gulf countries other than Saudi Arabia, like Dubai and Abu Dhabi and these places, Emirates, the word mutanaqqilun is used for mobile phone, cell phone. Hal indaka mutanaqqilun. But in Saudi Arabia, nobody will understand this. Just as you say cell phones, but in India we say mobile. You say cell phone, probably many will not understand. Hal indaka mutanaqqilun. Then you say I, that is Jawwalun. In Saudi Arabia, everybody knows Jawwal. Jala yajulu, to move about, and Jawwal is that which moves about very frequently. So that is the name given to mobile, Jawwal. So in Saudi Arabia, this is clearer than Mutanaqqil. But if you go to Dubai, probably you will say Hal indaka Jawwalun ay Mutanaqqilun. There Mutanaqqilun is clearer than Jawwal, but in Saudi Arabia Jawwalun is clearer than Mutanaqqilun. I is harf tafsir and Jawwal is Atf Bayan. So this is clearer than the first element, and here it is better known than the first element. So this is the first condition. Second condition, or second point of difference. First point of difference is that in Atful Bayan, the Atful Bayan is clearer or better known than the first element. In the Badal, it need not be. They can be equal, they can be less known. The second element can be, that is Badal. Badal can be equal to the Mubdal Minhu in being known or unknown. It can be better known than Mubdal Minhu. It can be less known than Mubdal Minhu, doesn't matter. But here it must be either clearer or better known. The second point of difference is that in Badal, the Badal, we are concerned with the Badal. That is our primary concern is with the Badal, not with the Mubdal Minhu. So say Aina Akhuka Hashimun. We are concerned with Hashim. His being Akhuka, your brother, doesn't concern us very much. But that is in Badal. But in Atful Bayan, the first element, we are concerned with the first element. That is our primary concern is the first element. Aqsama billahi Abu Hafsin. Abu Hafs is our concern is with Abu Hafs, and Umar, we have used it only to make it clear what we mean by Abu Hafs. But our primary concern is with the first element, and the second element has been used only to explain or clarify the first element. So these are the two differences, points of difference between Atful Bayan and Al-Badal. Now the grammarians say any Atful Bayan can also be a Badal. Any Atful Bayan can also be a Badal. Badalul Kul min al Kul, not Badal Ba'ad. You know, Badalul Ba'ad, Akaltu Dajajata Nisfaha. I ate the chicken, half of it. Akaltu Dajajata Nisfaha. That is Badalul Ba'ad. Then we have Badalul Ishtimal. Badalul Ishtimal is neither complete nor partial. It contains certain elements which are in the Mubdal Minhu. For example, Uhibbul Kitaba. I like this book. Uhibbu hadha al-kitaba lughatahu. I like this book, its language. Now the language is neither part of it nor complete. It is some quality or attribute of the book. Uhibbu Bilalan. I like Bilal. Kalamahu. Bilalan Kalamahu. Now Kalam is part, not a part, it's a attribute, a quality which is in Bilal. Uhibbul Bilala Kalamahu. That is Badalul Ishtimal. Badalul Ishtimal. A'jabani, for example, let it be fa'il. A'jabani Bilalun ilmuhu. A'jabani. I liked Bilal ilmuhu, his knowledge. A'jabani Bilalun. Bilal is fa'il here. A'jabani Bilalun. Bilal pleased me. Ilmuhu, actually his knowledge. So that is Badalul Ishtimal. So you have Badalul Ba'ad, Badalul Kul. Badalul Kul, for example, Aina Akhuka Hashimun or Bilalun. Akhuka and Hashimun both are the same. It is Badalul Kul min al Kul. So the grammarians say any Atful Bayan can be Badalul Kul min al Kul. But in one, there is a condition. In one case it cannot be, they cannot be the same. In one case they cannot be the same. So what did I say? I said grammarians say any Atful Bayan can be Badalul Kul min al Kul, except in one case. And what is that one case? The one case is that when one of the two elements is omitted, when one of the two elements is omitted, there isn't any disturbance in the meaning. The meaning is not disturbed, and there is no defect in grammar. There is no defective element in the grammar. First of all, the meaning is not disturbed. The meaning is not disturbed. Secondly, there is no impropriety in grammar. There is no impropriety. In grammar. Now let us take an example. As I told you, when one of the two elements is omitted, the meaning should become intact. The grammatical construction should be intact. There should not be any change either in meaning or in grammatical construction. So let us see. For example, Zainabu Zainabu ja'ani Bilalun akhuha. Zainab, her brother Bilal came to me. Zainab is mubtada. The khabar is a verbal sentence. Ja'ani Bilalun akhuha. Ja'ani, ni is nun wiqaya, ya is maf'ul bihi. Bilalun fa'il, akhuha atf bayan. Now Zainabu ja'ani Bilalun akhuha. If this is atf bayan, if we omit atf bayan, then what happens? Zainabu ja'ani Bilalun. There is no meaning. Who is Bilal? We don't know Bilal. Bilal has not been mentioned before in the sentence in this context, and he is a stranger in the sentence, the construction. Zainabu ja'ani Bilal. Who is Bilal? There is no meaning in the sentence because we have omitted akhuha. But if we say, for example, aina akhuka Bilalun, if we drop Bilalun, aina akhuka, the meaning is complete. There is no disturbance to the meaning. Or if we say aina Bilalun, also the meaning is okay. But here, Zainabu ja'ani Bilalun akhuha. Akhuha explains to us what is Bilal. Who is Bilal? If we drop Bilal, if we drop Bilal is okay. Zainabu ja'ani akhuha, the meaning is complete, undisturbed. But if we omit akhuha, Zainabu ja'ani Bilalun akhuha, if we drop akhuha, the meaning is lost. So this cannot be classed as badal. It is not badal. It should be termed or classed as atful bayan. Now the second example where we drop the first element, here we drop the second element. It's a poetic line. It belongs to the times of the time. It's a pre-Islamic poet, but it's Abu Talib, the Prophet's uncle. Aya akha wayna, aya akhawayna abda shamsin wa nawfala. أعيذكما أعيذكما بالله أن تحدث أعيذكما بالله أن تحدث حربا. I'll read and explain. Aya akhawayna, O our two brothers. Akhun, dual is akhawani, and our brothers, mudaf and mudaf ilay, akhawana, our brothers. And then if we make it munada mudaf, it will be mansub, say aya akhawayna, O our two brothers. And then comes badal or atful bayan, abda shamsin, abda shamsin, abda shams ibn munaf. He was a brother of Hashim. Hashim was the great grandfather of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Abda shamsin, aya akhawayna abda shamsin. Abda shams mudaf mudaf ilayh, also munada mudaf, abda mansub. That's also okay. But one nawfalan, nawfal. Nawfal, as you know, is al-alam al-mufrad, alam mufrad. It is like Bilalun, ya Bilalu, Muhammadun, ya Muhammadu, Abbasun, ya Abbasu. So it should be Bila Nawfalu. But because it is atf bayan of akhawayna, this is possible here. Aya akhawayna abda shamsin wa nawfala, O our two brothers abda shams and nawfal. U'idhukuma billahi, a'adha ya'udhu, a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. A'adha ya'udhu, to take refuge, to take protection. And bab af'ala is a'adhahu, he committed someone to Allah's protection. A'adhahu yu'idhu, af'ala yu'idhu, aqama yuqimu. U'idhukuma, I commit both of you to Allah's protection. An tuhditha harban, harba. Ahdatha yuhdithu, also bab 4. Ahdatha is to make something new, to start, to commence. An tuhditha harban, that you should start a war. U'idhukuma billahi, I commit you, both of you, to Allah's protection, that you should start a war. Aya akhawayna abda shamsin wa nawfala, u'idhukuma billahi an tuhditha harba. An tuhditha is mansub because of an, noon has been omitted. Tuhdithani, ahdatha yuhdithu, anta tuhdithu, antuma tuhdithani, both of you start. An tuhdithani, because of an tuhditha, harban is maf'ul bihi, war. Now aya akhawayna. Now if we drop akhawayna, the first element, you can say aya abda shamsin, that is okay. Aya abda shamsin, because mudaf ilayh, and mudaf munada mudaf, it is mansub, it's okay. But we say aya abda shamsin wa nawfalan is wrong. If it is badal, it is wrong, because badal is, they say, it is a repetition of the amil. The amil, if you say for example ra'aytu akhaka bilalan, it is as if one says ra'aytu akhaka ra'aytu bilalan. The amil, the element or the word which changes the case ending, has to be repeated. You assume that it is being repeated. So Ja'a Bilalun, Ja'a Akhuka Bilalun means Ja'a Akhuka Ja'a Bilalun. Ya Muhammadan, if you say Ya Abdullahi, Aliyu, you must say Aliyu, as if you say Ya Abdullah, Ya Aliyu, as if you are repeating the Amil. So here, Ya Abda Shamsin is okay, but you say Ya Nawfalan is wrong. You must say Ya Nawfalu. So if you drop Akhawayna, which is the first element, then Nawfalan cannot be Nawfalan, it should be Nawfalu. So in this case, it should not be classed as Badal. It can be classed only as Atf Bayan, because in that case Nawfalan cannot be Mansub. So these are the two one case in which Atf Bayan cannot be Badal. What is the case? When we drop either of the two elements, either the second element or the first element, there should not be any disturbance to grammar or to the meaning. If there is, the meaning is disturbed, the grammar is disturbed, then it is to be classed as Bayan and not as Badal. There is another example I'll give you. Ya Bilalu Al-Abbasu, Ya Bilalu Al-Abbasu, Ya Bilalu Al-Abbasu. Abbas is either here it is either a laqab, a title, or his other name. Abbas, is from Abasa Ya'bisu. Abasa Ya'bisu. Abasa in the Quran, Abasa wa Tawalla. Abasa Ya'bisu is to frown, the opposite of smiling, frowning. Ism al-Fa'il is Abisun. And Sighat Mubalaghat Ism al-Fa'il, Sighatu Mubalaghat Ism al-Fa'il al-Abbas. Abbas, one who always, when he frowns always. His face is a frowning face. Abbas. That is why a lion is also called Abbas. Abbas, lion, is always frowning. So Al-Abbas, the uncle of the Prophet, one of the uncles of the Prophet was Al-Abbas. Now Al-Abbas we say, as we have seen in some selections from the glorious Quran, I had explained that certain proper names have Al. And like Al-Hasanu, Al-Husainu, Al-Abbasu. Now the Arabs have used Al with all these proper, some of the proper names. We can't use with any proper name we like. And we have also learned that when a proper name with Alif Lam becomes Munada, the Al has to be omitted. As Zubair, you say Ya Zubairu. We don't say Yal Zubairu. Al-Abbas, you say Ya Abbasu. Alif Lam has to be omitted. Hasan, Al-Hasanu, Ya Hasanu. Ain Al-Hasanu, Aja Al-Hasanu with Alif Lam. But Ya Hasanu without Alif Lam. So here, Ya Bilalu Al-Abbasu, it's okay here. But if we drop Abbas or Bilal, Ya Bilalul Abbasu, it is not correct grammatically, because Abbas should be without Alif Lam. You say Ya Abbas. But when we dropped Bilal, it became Yal Abbasu, which is grammatically incorrect. So this should be Atful Bayan and cannot be Badal. So these are the two. These are the one case where Atful Bayan has to be Atful Bayan. It cannot be classed as Badal. That is when one of the two elements, when it is dropped, then there is disturbance to either the meaning or the grammatical construction. In that case, it has to be regarded or classed as Atful Bayan and not as Badal. In all other cases, any Atful Bayan can be regarded as Badal, which is Badal al-Kull. Now, the Atful Bayan can be Ma'rifa or Nakira. Can be Ma'rifa. We have said Ma'rifa. It can also be Nakira. But there is difference of opinion between the grammarians. Some grammarians say that Atful Bayan can only be Ma'rifa. It cannot be Nakira. But other grammarians say that both Ma'rifa and Nakira can be Atful Bayan. And one of the greatest grammarians who has advocated this idea is Ibn Malik. Ibn Malik is the man who wrote Al-Alfiya. In the Alfiya he says, فَقَدْ يَكُونَانِ مُنَكِّرَيْنِ. He says, I'll write this, the line in which he says, فَقَدْ يَكُونَانِ. That is Atful Bayan and the first element, that is Matbu'. فَقَدْ يَكُونَانِ مُنَكَّرَيْنِ. وقد يكونان منكرين كما يكونان معرفين. كما يكونان معرفين. وقد يكونان منكرين كما يكونان معرفين. وقد, قد, as you know, in Mudara it is for doubt or paucity sometimes. وقد يكونان منكرين. منكر نكر ينكر, there is bab second. اسم المفعول منكر, which has been made indefinite. وقد يكونان. Yakunani, the alif in Yakunani is the ism kana, which refers to Atful Bayan and the first element in Atful Bayan. وقد يكونان منكرين كما يكونان, as they may be معرفين. عرف is also second bab, to make it ma'rifa. And Ism al-Maf'ul is Mu'arraf, and this is Muthanna, Kama Yakunani Mu'arrafaini. Both Munakkaraini and Mu'arrafaini are the Khabar of Kana. The Ism of Kana is Alif. وَقَدْ يَكُونَانِ مُنَكَّرَيْنِ. Both of them may be either indefinite, Kama Yakunani Mu'arrafaini, as they may be Mu'arraf, Ma'rifa. Now here are one or two examples of Nakira. Ma'rifa we have seen. Nakira. Nakira here. Examples of Nakira. That is in Atful Bayan. I told you an example before. عندك متنقل أي جوال. Another example, اشتريت حليا. حليا means ornament, like a chain or a bracelet. So, اشتريت حليا سوارا. سوار means bracelet. اشتريت حليا سوارا. When you say حليا, the listener doesn't know what exactly you bought. Then you say اشتريت حليا سوارا. It clarifies what is meant by حليا, what type of ornament you bought. اشتريت حليا سوارا. We have a couple of examples from the glorious Quran. أو كفارة طعام مساكين. أو كفارة طعام مساكين. $5.95. أو كفارة طعام مساكين. This is the ayah speaks about the arrangement for one who hunts an animal while in the state of ihram. He's going to Hajj or Umrah and he's in the state of ihram, and then he kills an animal, game. In that case, there are detailed requirements. So one of them is أو كفارة, or expiation طعام مساكين, the food of the poor or feeding of the poor. طعام مساكين. أو كفارة طعام مساكين. Now طعام is عطف البيان. كفارة طعام مساكين. The word طعام مساكين explains or clarifies what is meant by كفارة. أو كفارة or an expiation طعام مساكين, the food of the poor. Another example from Surah Al-Nur, يوقد من شجرة مباركة. يوقد من شجرة مباركة زيتونة. It's 24:35. يوقد, this lamp is lit. يوقد من شجرة, from the oil of a tree. يوقد من شجرة مباركة, a blessed tree. زيتونة. Now زيتونة is عطف بيان, olive plant. أو يوقد من شجرة مباركة زيتونة. Now زيتونة, شجرة is nakira and زيتونة is also nakira. We also seen كفارة is nakira. طعام مساكين. ويسقى من ماء صديد. This is 14:16. ويسقى من صديد. Fourteen, 16. ويسقى من ماء صديد. Now in the previous ayah there is a reference to وخاب كل جبار عنيد. وخاب كل جبار عنيد. وخاب كل جبار. جبار is a dictator. Jabbar. Anid, arrogant. Wakhaba was brought to nothing. Khaba means he did not succeed. Wakhaba kullu jabbarin anid. Every arrogant dictator was brought to nothing. Min wara'ihi jahannam. Then and the next ayah, wa yusqa min ma'in sadid. Wa yusqa, he will be given a drink. He will be made to drink. Yusqa, saqa yasqi, and passive voice yusqa. He will be given a drink. Min ma'in, of water. Sadidin. Now ma'in sadidin. This is atfu bayan. Sadid means pus. P-U-S, pus. Ma'in sadidin. Ma, it doesn't mean water, it means liquid. He will be given to drink a liquid which is sadid, which is pus. But yusqa min ma'in sadidin. So sadidin is atfu bayan, and both are nakira. As we have yuqad min shajaratin mubarakatin zaytunatin, both are nakira. Yusqa min ma'in sadidin. Ma'in nakira, sadidin nakira. And also ishtaraytu huliyan siwaran, I bought ornament, a bracelet. So as I told you, Ibn Malik advocates that the Atful Bayan can be nakira. Others, some grammarians say it cannot be, but he says فَقَدْ يَكُونُ مُنَكَّرَيْنِ فقد يكونان منكرين كما يكونان معرفين. Now we come to the last point. Can Atful Bayan be a sentence? Can Atful Bayan be a sentence? Sentence, both of them are the first and the second element, both are sentences. Is it possible? Most grammarians say no. But some grammarians say it is possible. One of them is Al-Ghalayini, the man who wrote the book Jami' al-Durus al-Arabiyya. Jami' al-Durus al-Arabiyya. It's a recent book, but he is no more. Mustafa Al-Ghalayini. Now he thinks, of course, classical grammarians, some of them say that is possible. The Atful Bayan can also be in sentences. Now there are two sentences. I'll write them. In 21:20, فَوَسْوَسَ إِلَيْهِ الشَّيْطَانُ. فَوَسْوَسَ إليه الشيطان. فوسوس إليه الشيطان قال يا آدم هل أدلك على شجرة الخلد على شجرة الخلد وملك لا يبلى لا يبلى. This is Surah Taha 21:20. فوسوس إليه الشيطان. Satan or devil, Satan whispered to him. Waswasa. This is Bab is Fi'l Rubai. Waswasa yuwaswisu. In Surah last Surah of the Quran. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس. To whisper. Waswasa is فعل رباعي. وسوسة يوسوس like زلزل يزلزل. So وسوس إليه to him. وسوس إليه الشيطان. الشيطان is فاعل. وسوس is فعل. فوسوس إليه الشيطان. Satan whispered to him. قال, he said, يا آدم أو آدم هل أدلك. دل يدل فعل مضاعف to point out, to tell where the place is. دلني على مكتب البريد. دلني, show me the post office. دلني, دل يدل, أمر is دلني على مكتب البريد. دلني على المدرسة, show me the school. Lead me to, or give me the information about. هل أدلك على شجرة الخلد. Shall I show you the tree of immortality. Khuld is immortality. So he went and told him, يا آدم هل أدلك على شجرة الخلد. دل على, دل takes على preposition على. دللته على المسجد. دللته على تعليم الإسلام, على مسجد تعليم الإسلام. هل أدلك على شجرة الخلد. خالد is immortal. So شجرة الخلد, shall I show you, point out to you, or tell you where the tree of immortality is. وملك لا يبلى. And a kingdom that will not waste away. بلية يبلى. بلية يبلى. بلية يبلى means to get worn out. For example, if you have a shirt, after 50 years, when you look at it, it will be worn out. Baliya thawbi, baliya qamisi, baliya. Also, if there's a building 100 years old, 200 years old, and things falling down, you say, هذا البيت بلية هذا البيت. مضارع يبلى, to be worn out. So he says, على ملك, in a kingdom, لا يبلى, which will not get worn out, which will not, waste away, which will always remain as it is. So فوسوس إليه الشيطان, Satan whispered to him. He said, O Adam, shall I show you the tree of immortality and a kingdom, nakira, and a kingdom, لا يبلى. لا يبلى is jumla fi'liya. It is a na'at of mulk لا يبلى, which will not waste away. Now, according to grammarians, فوسوس إليه الشيطان, this is the first element in عطف البيان. The second is قال, the whole sentence. وسوس, he whispered. What did he whisper? What did he say in his whisper? قال يا آدم. This whole sentence is عطف البيان of فوسوس إليه الشيطان. So there are two elements. قال يا آدم, this is عطف البيان, and فوسوس إليه الشيطان, that is the first element. As we say, وأقسم بالله أبو حفص عمر. أبو حفص عمر. Umar is عطف البيان, and Abu Hafs is the first element, al-matbu'. The second ayah, وَنُودُوا أن تلكم الجنة ونودوا أن تلكم الجنة أورثتموها أورثتموها بما كنتم تعملون بما كنتم تعملون. Now this is 743. Wanudu, as you can see, is nada. This is Bab 3. Bab fa'ala nada, to call. Nada yunadi, he calls. Passive voice, nudiya, he was called, or it was called to him, it was said to him. Wanudiya, and this is plural, nudu. The waw is the naib al-fa'il, wanudu. It was announced to them, they were called, or it was announced to them, an tilkumul jannatu. An is the harf al-tafsir. What was the announcement? The announcement was an, that is tilkumul jannatu. This is the paradise, tilkum. Dhalikum, sometimes dhalik al-kitab, the one pointing to a thing which is far away, is used because it is something deserving respect. A person, very respectable person, very honored person, we don't go very near to him, so we keep away. So that is, we say dhalika. It doesn't mean that he is away, but it means, they say بعد المكان يدل على بعد المكانة. بعد المكان بعد المكان يدل على بعد المكانة. Makana is status, position. Makan is place. So bu'dul makan, the distance in space. The distance in space points to the distance in the position, in the status. So when we say dhalika, we mean to say that he is a respected and very honored person. Dhalika al-imam, dhalika al-imam, dhalika al-rajulu al-imam. He may be very close to you, but he says dhalika to point to suggest that he is a very honored and respected person. They say dhalika al-kitab. Many people ask, why dhalika, why not hadha? So dhalika al-kitab, that book, it means this book, but dhalika has been used to denote that it is something deserving respect, and that is why the word dhalika, as you say, بعد المكان يدل على بعد المكانة. Nudu, it will be announced to them, an tilkumul jannah, that paradise, that is the paradise. An tilkumul jannatu. Al jannatu is not badal, it is the khabar. Tilkumul jannatu. Kum, tilkum, we have seen that in the book. it is called تصرف كاف الخطاب. تصرف كاف الخطاب. تلك ka is حرف الخطاب. حرف الخطاب. It's not a word, it's harf. So it's not like kitabuka, which means it's pronoun. No, it's not a pronoun, it's a harf al-khitab. And when we are speaking to one man, we can say tilka as-sayyaratu jamilatun. If you are speaking to a sister, you can say tilki as-sayyaratu. It is the same verb, but you say tilka for a man and tilki for a woman, you say tilki as-sayyaratu jamilatun. It is optional, of course. You need not say always tilka and tilki for women. And we are speaking to a group of men, you can say tilkumus sayyaratu jamilatun. Tilkumus sayyaratu jamilatun. And if you are speaking to a group of women, you can say tilkunna sayyaratu jamilatun. It is the same car, same thing. But dhalika, you take into consideration the man whom you are speaking. So dhalika ya Muhammad, dhalika تلك السيارة جميلة. يا زينب تلك السيارة جميلة. يا إخوان تلكم السيارة جميلة. يا أخوات تلكن السيارة جميلة. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says وَنُودُوا أَن تِلْكُمُ الْجَنَّةِ. That is the paradise. أُورِثْتُمُوهَا. وَرِثَ يَرِثُ. This you have seen in the book. وَرِثَ, to inherit. Waritha yarithu. This is EE group. Waritha yarithu. Bab 4 is awrasa. Awrasa, to make someone inherit. Passive voice, urithtum, you have been made to inherit. Ha refers to the Jannah. Of course, this sentence is hal, because tilkumul Jannah is ma'rifa. Wa nudu an tilkumul jannatu uristumuha bima kuntum ta'malun, because of what you had been doing. So here also, wa nudu, it was made. It was announced to them. And what was the announcement? Antilkum al-jannatu uristumuha. The whole sentence is full bayan of nudu. They were given an announcement. It was announced to them, Antilkum al-jannah. So Antilkum al-jannah, the whole sentence up to bima kuntum ta'malun is a atful bayan of the first sentence nudu. So these are two examples of atful bayan in sentences. Now I have finished. I hope the concept is clear to you. So atful bayan, atf is of two kinds, atful bayan and atful nasaq. Atful nasaq is conjunction waw and fa, meaning and. هذا كتاب عندي كتاب وقلم جاء بلال ومحمد. This is عطف النسق. عطف البيان similar to بدل. قابلت, man says قابلت Elizabeth ملكة بريطانيا. So Malikata Britannia is Atful Bayan because it is clearer, better known than Elizabeth. And in the Atful Bayan, the second element is clearer than the first element. It is better known than the first element. Second point, in Atful Bayan, the first element is what concerns us. The second element has been used to make it clear, to clarify or to specify. In badal, it is the second element, badal, which is badal, which concerns us. Al-mubdal minhu does not concern us so much. And then I told you that atful bayan can be in ma'rifah as well as in nakira. Ibn Malik has mentioned in his Alfiyah that both of them can be either ma'rifah or nakira. And then any atful bayan can also be badal al-kull min al-kull, but it's not possible only in one case, and that case is when we omit one of the two elements, there is disturbance to the meaning of the sentence or to the grammatical construction. Now, for example, Zainabu ja'ani Bilalun akhuha. Zainabu ja'ani Bilalun akhuha. Zainab mubtada, ja'ani Bilalun akhuha is khabar, jumla fi'liya. Now, if we omit akhuha, then what remains is Zainab ja'ani Bilalun, which has no meaning because Bilal, we don't know him. He is not connected with the sentence and we don't know who he is. So Zainabu ja'ani Bilalun has no meaning. So the meaning is disturbed here. So it should be atful bayan, it cannot be badal. This is an example of omitting the second element. Now another example, an example of omitting the first element is the famous line of poetry by Abu Talib, Aya akhawayna abda shamsin wa nawfala. Aya akhawayna abda shamsin wa nawfala. Oh, our two brothers, Abda Shams and Nawfal. Now akhawayna is mansub because it is mudaf, munada mudaf. Akhawayna, na is mudaf ilay, akhaway is mansub. Abda Shamsin is atf bayan, that is also mudaf and mudaf ilay, is mansub. But Nawfalan is alam mufrad. It is possible only in atf bayan. If it is badal, it is not possible. You must say Aya akhawayna abda shamsin wa nawfalu, because it will be mabni ala dham. Ya Bilalu, ya Muhammadu. But if we drop akhawayna, we say Ya Bilalu, Ya Nawfalu, Ya Nawfalan, it's not possible. If we drop Ya akhawayna, and then we say Aya Nawfalan, it is not possible, because Nawfalan should be Ya Nawfalu. So as it is not possible after the omitting of the first element, it is to be regarded as atf bayan and not as badal. Then I told you that atf bayan can also be in sentences, which is also a matter of difference of opinion between the grammarians, but some say that it's possible, and I have given you two examples from the glorious Quran. فَوَسْوَسَ إِلَيْهِ الشَّيْطَانُ قَالَ يَا آدَمُ هَلْ أَدُلُّكَ عَلَى شَجَرَةِ الْخُلْدِ وَمُلْكٍ لَا يَبْلَى. فَوَسْوَسَ إِلَيْهِ الشَّيْطَانُ is first element, قَالَ يَا آدَمُ is second element, and that is atf bayan. وَنُودُ أَن تِلْكُمُ الْجَنَّةُ. وَنُودُ, it was announced to them, an announcement was made to them. And what was the announcement? أَن تِلْكُمُ الْجَنَّةُ. The second element is the second part of the sentence, of the second sentence is atf bayan of the first sentence. As I told you that some of the grammarians, one of them, Al-Ghalayini, Mustafa Al-Ghalayini, the author of this book, Jami'u Durus al-Arabiyyati, Jami'u دروس العربية. Mustafa Al-Ghalaini. He's a modern grammarian. Of course, he is dead. So he says that Atful Bayan can also be in sentences. Can also be in sentences. And I have mentioned to you the ayat, two ayat, wherein it is said to be Atful Bayan. The second ayah, the second part of the ayah is a Atful Bayan of the first part of the ayah. I have explained to you in detail. So that is the name of the book, Jami' Ad-Durus, Jami'u Ad-Durus Al-Arabiyyati, Jami'u Ad-Durus Al-Arabiyyati, and it is by Mustafa Al-Ghalayini. I better write the name. Jami'u Ad-Durus جامع الدروس العربية. جامع الدروس العربية. Name of the author is Mustafa Al-Ghalayini. Mustafa Al-Ghalayini. Mustafa Al-Ghalayini. That's the name of the author. Name of the book is Jami'u Ad-Durus Al-Arabiyyati. I hope you have understood this concept of Atful Bayan, and I hope you will enjoy the lesson, and by reading it several times, inshallah, listening to it several times, you will be able to master it, inshallah. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alamin.